Welcome everybody to another deck profile, and this one is of my recently made and one of my favorite new standard decks that I've built and will be making and taking to my locals here shortly. And this one is Dimir Surveil Control. Now with Dimir Surveil Control, there's so many options for it. I've made two decks, two variants of it. One I made that was purely just more for fun, and this one is made to be more competitive. The other one I made for fun, it was based solely around the main combo in this deck, and it was a lot more aggressive build, but it wouldn't stand up to standard as much as my control build does. My control build stays against standard pretty well, and it's really fun to play. Let's go ahead and get into it. As you see, what's up on the screen here is Doom Whisperer. He's a 5-drop, 6/6. Yes, already that's amazing. He also has Flying and Trample, adding to even more amazingness of a card. And on top of that, let's throw an ability like Pay 2 Life and Surveil 2. Overpowered now. Strictly broken. Now, its uses in Standard, besides the fact that it's a 5-drop, 6/6 with Flying and Trample, using the Surveil is really amazing. It's like, especially when you can take advantage of your graveyard with so many things now. Surveil's like drawing extra cards, and and you just explode. Like when I was playing my Dimir deck in the pre-release, I would get through and pick what I needed, get to what I needed fast, and it turned out really good. And of course, I went 4-3 my first pre-release, and the second pre-release I attended, I went 2-2. I end up, you got a brick sometimes. It happens. It's sealed. What can you do? I didn't get that great of pulls. I had okay sealed pulls, but but I learned about a lot of cards and combos and little things that connected, and it was really good. So I came and spent every day since the pre-release and the day before the pre-release starting to build this deck. And this is now what I came up with. And as you've seen, Doom Whisperer, he's the main piece of the deck. You have to have him on the field. He has to be able to use his ability while Spybug and Phantasm on the field to build them up. And then you just beat down your opponent. So basically it's control, win with Doom Whisperer, Spybug, or Phantasm. That's basically the goal of the deck. Now, of course, you could win just by having your 6/6 Flying Trample on the field and beating somebody down. But it's always fun to beat him down with multiple creatures, big creatures, and kill it quickly. Now, taking a look at the list, we're going down to Dimir Spybug. He's a 2-drop 1/1 flying. Whenever you use Surveil, you get a 1/1 counter on him. Not only does it's not just a +1/+1, it's a +1/+1 counter. So whenever you Surveil, he's going to get bigger, and it's going to stay. So even when you do your crazy stuff with Doom Whisperer and your opponents try to take him out, and then they got also take out your Spybug or your Phantasm, there's multiple targets here, and they're all bad. They're going to choose the worst of the worst, and that depends on who's probably the biggest or who's going to cause most problem. And the fact that he also has Menace. You can't just chump block him with one Thopter. It's going to take multiple Thopters to stop this big creature from coming through. And I say big because in the games, he's going to get to at least a 5/5, all the way up to a possible 10/10. Yeah, that's possible. It's very possible. Moving on to the next card, which is the partner of Spybug, is Thoughtbound Phantasm. This one's a 1-drop 2/2. Sounds great. Defender, okay. Whenever Civilian gets a 1/1 counter, nice, he's going to be a big butt. But as long as he has 3 or more counters, he can attack as though he didn't have Defender. So this Defender that's been getting increasingly bigger is now going to be a huge attacking creature. And, when somebody just drops down the Phantasm, you're like, oh, okay, he's going to be, maybe get up to a 4/4. But then when you drop the Doom Whisperer and turn him into a 10/10 plus, it's a huge monster now that they got to deal with. And being a 1-drop, if you drop multiple, you could drop multiples down in one turn, along with the Spybug. And if you already have a Doom Whisperer on the field, or if you drop a Doom Whisperer down next turn, you just got multiple huge creatures for very low cost, except for some life, of course. Moving on down, we're going to go to Chemists Insight. Now, there's a lot of different draw cards, and there's even the Draw Surveil cards in here. But I chose this one because of Jumpstart, and it being the fact that it's an instant. The other ones, there's only one that's instant speed, but the basic main draw cards for Surveil are just not all that great. The Read the Bones version is okay, but it's sorcery speed, and it burns you for 2 life. You don't want to lose too much life in this deck because of Doom Whisper. You want to be able to Surveil as many times as you can. Not, of course, you're not going to spam. You're going to do it smartly. You don't want to spam and spin, go all the way down to 2 life, and just to bump these guys up because they can just get killed by some kill spell, even if you got a counter. You only do that if you know you've got the win. But you could take control of the top of your library and build these up at the same time. You're going to want at least 3 counters on them, at least on the Phantasm. Moving down after that is Opt. We're running 2 copies of Opt. You can run more. It just depends on your preference. I like it at 2 currently. I might raise it up to 3. I'm just in between. If I raise it up to 3, I would take out a land. But I'm still in I like where my land's at currently, just because I want to make sure I get my callers. I want to make sure I get enough of my callers to be able to mission briefing things out and do the such. Going on to kill spells, this is for both of them. Cast Down and Murder. I chose these ones specifically because of mission briefing to make sure they are cheaper. I got Vraska's Attempts like in my side, Price of Fame in my side. You don't need all that Surveil with these guys because it's not an aggro deck. You don't need You don't need to keep just building it up. Using Doom Whisper's abilities plenty enough when you get to that point. You'll have this set up. You'll see it play. Use these strictly because they're cheaper to use with mission briefing. And Cast Down is pretty good. You're going to be countering people's huge creatures with your counter spells, and Cast Down strictly for taking out non-legendaries. So if any legendary hits, you can always just syncopate it off, or Sinister Sabotage it off, or any of the other counters you feel like running. And you just save Cast Down for your the other one. So it's a really great 2-drop kill spell that's only 1 black in it. I know it's 2 color, but just in case. Murder's 2 black, but it's strictly just kill somebody real quick. This is for taking out later threats, and it's also more removal on the field. And I don't play enough creatures. I'm not gonna have enough in my graveyard to play the 1-drop black neg card. In my other build, I'm running it, but in this one I did not run it because I'm not gonna be filling my graveyard up with more creatures. Not usually. If I do, it's only a few. I'm still messing with the 1-drop. I'm not sure that I really like it in here because it's not. I want something to be able to kill in the first 5 turns. I'm not usually don't got a graveyard filled up within the first 5 turns. I don't get my graveyard start filling up until I hit Doom Whisper, except in my other build. Moving on from Murder and Cast Down, we go to our counters, which is we only run two different types in this deck. Also because we have mission briefing to also replay them. It's the same thing with Opt and Chemists Insight. What you want to do? Well, Chemists Insight, you can discard a card to do it, and it'll save you having to pay an extra 2 for mission briefing. But you can do it. You can. But you just replay those things with mission briefing, and you got an extra 2 draw cards, you got an extra 2 kill cards, and you got an extra 2 counters. You can't beat any of that. And Sinister Sabotage is our main counter, and I chose this one because of the Surveil. It's still a 3-drop instant counter, just like cancel and all that good stuff. So, and it has Surveil, so it's really good. So basically, like if you're playing, you counter something, you got your Spybug or Phantasm on the field, boom, they just get an extra counter. They're just a little bit bigger, especially if you got your Phantasm on the field. You turn 1, and turn 2 you drop your Spybug. Turn 3 you counter something with Sabotage. Boom. Now you got a 3/3 Phantasm and a 2/2 Dimir Spybug, who has Menace and Flying. So he's going to hit for 2, and then you got a 3/3 butt sitting there ready to block something if it lives. So you don't take no damage. You want to keep your health at 20. Moving down, Syncopate is the next one, of course. Syncopate because, it's a 1-drop with X. So if you mission briefing it, it's only going to cost you like 4 mana plus, of course, but you can, for as low as 4 mana to counter something, it's pretty amazing when you're redoing it from your graveyard. And then, of course, the one I've been talking about this whole time, one of my favorite cards from this new set, besides Doom Whisperer, is Mission Briefing. Use Surveil to choose an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. You may cast that card this turn. If you would be put in your graveyard, exile it instead. This is basically just, and it's just 2 blue. It's really easy to get 2 blue or 2 black inside this deck, especially with 4 Water Graves and 4 Drowned Catacombs. And Mission Briefing is just a must-have. And another reason why I run Sinister Sabotage with Mission Briefing is that, think about on turn 5, you're getting ready for your Doom Whisperer set up and play. You have your Phantasm on the field. You've already used the Sinister Sabotage. Your Phantasm is now a 3/3. Then you crack, and they're gonna cast something turn 5. On their turn 5 or turn 4, you Mission Briefing Sinister Sabotage. Boom, you have 2 triggers of Surveil. So now your Phantasm goes from being a 3/3 to a 5/5. Who can now attack? You can't beat that. That's amazing. It makes me want to run more Mission Briefing. But I don't think 4 Mission Briefing is going to be that great. I honestly haven't really tested more than 2. Every time I play 2, I end up running into it anyways, and it seems to be a good number. I would definitely test it more and see what I like, but I don't really know anything else to take out for it. Because you can't take out ops. You gotta have those ops. You gotta have your removal for any creature that hits the field. You gotta make sure you run into it. You gotta make sure you have all your counters. And yeah, Mission Brief. I could possibly take one of 2 different things out, like take out one of my counters, one more of my removal, and put in 2 Mission Briefings. Wouldn't be a bad idea. It's a really good test out. But it all goes all down to preference. You also don't want to be flooded with Mission Briefings. 2 Mission Briefings in your hand is not that great. Unless you got a filled graveyard in this late game, then Mission Briefing is amazing. But you mostly want to have your actual counter ready, because you don't want to have a Mission Briefing in your hand and didn't have another instant, So 2 I think is a good number. 3 at the most. I think 4 would be way too much. And then on the land package, it's just 8 swamps, 9 islands, 4 graves, and 4 catacombs. Just simple. You don't want to run colorless lands or anything that's not going to produce blue or black. Has to produce blue or black because there's so many doubles. There's double blues, double blacks throughout it, blue-black cards. And when I was playtesting with like Field of Ruin, it would screw up my mana base. I wouldn't be able to play my double colors. I would get screwed over early. You don't want screwed over early. You want to have your colors instantly. You want to be able to have 2 blue and 2 blue and a black by turn 3. And turn 4, you want 2 black and 2 blue at least. Because turn 5, you want to be able to play your Whisper turn 5 or turn 6, turn 7 at the latest, because of control, and it could be even later if you have to, because it's control, of course, depending on your play setup. But if you can get a Doom Whisperer on your turn 5, turn 6, turn 7 with the Spybug and Phantasm, and be ready for the next turn to start doing some nasty things, it would be quite amazing. I really wish that he was a legendary, because being a huge EDH player of mine, if you watch my channel, it would be amazing to have his commander. We do a little a side thing where we have some EDH decks with non-legendary commanders, fun things. We do mix a little fun things into our groups. I might end up just making a mono black deck built around him just to see how it goes. But for now, he's definitely being thrown into multiple EDH decks with black in them. Because PN2 Life to Surveil 2 is never a bad thing. Especially with a lot of life gain you can get in black. Well, that was my standard deck for Dimir. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe to see more videos of these. Also, don't forget to check out Try Gamer Studio and watch our other teammates do different videos and different playthroughs and different games and like that. Check out our Facebook. It's a really awesome time. Don't forget to check out Too Many Todd's page as well. There we have a show that I perform called Too Many Todds, and also do movies and such like that, at home films. And also we bring really funny content and Also check out my Twitter, keep updated on there, and always check my YouTube for more content, which I try to bring out as regularly as I can now. I had problems in the past be able to get content out because of life situations, and now I'm fully in it. I'm ready to do more, and I hope you guys are ready to see more. I'll see you guys here soon. This is Shadow Child. Later, all.